Afternoon, everyone. I am Himanshu Chaudhary, co-founder at Campus Veda. Campus Veda is a platform where we are empowering the students. Basically, we are creating the bridge between the students and the industry. Later, Nimesh will speak about the Campus Veda in detail. So let's call up the speaker for the day, Mr. Nimesh Khandelwal. He is an edupreneur, co-founder at Campus Veda, co-founder at Excula, and also currently working as the senior software engineer in Flipkart. And yes, before we start, we want to inform you that the topic majorly covers placement interview preparation and how you can take advantage of ongoing COVID situation. And for Q&A, you can shoot your question in the chat box, and we got few questions in the Q&A form also. So in the end of the webinar, we will answer to your all the questions. So it's a request to everyone, please turn off your mic, and we are recording this session also, so no need to worry about. You can watch the webinar later also. We will email you the link. Now I request Nimesh Khandelwal to start the webinar. Thank you.
Yeah, hi guys. First of all, really sorry for the delay. Yeah, I will just start right away. So I'm Nimesh. I'm currently working at Flipkart as a senior software engineer, and I'm co-founder Campus Veda. And here we are here to talk about college placements and what is the impact of COVID situation on the industry. So few important points that I want you to look at. First is please don't switch on your video. It will create unnecessary load on the network and it will create lag on the voice and other might have problem. Second is please switch. You can switch on your mic whenever you feel like you have any questions or you want to ask about something, you want to highlight a point, or you want to share out your own experience, or you feel like I've shared a wrong point or something like that. You can switch on your mic anytime you want. Please make it session interactive and let's clear your doubts, all your doubts regarding the placements. And please don't hesitate to ask questions. Please don't hesitate and take this opportunity to ask about any doubt you have in mind regarding your academics or placements. You will get the copy of this PPT and the recorded session on your mail. So please don't worry about taking notes or something related to that. And as I told you, and I'm emphasizing on this point, like please make the session interactive. And you can ping me anytime later if on any platform like Facebook, LinkedIn, if you have any doubts that you don't want to ask during this webinar. So let's start right away. So how to attend college placements? Actually, this is a very common questions that even we used to have in our mind when we were in the college. So I remember like when I was in the third year, I used to ask all my seniors, I used to ping them personally, like how to prepare for placements, how to get the super dream package, how to get dream package, what is the condition that company place, will CGPA matters, or how to build resume, did certificate matter, how to get certificates. All these questions like jumble up on my mind. So in this webinar, I will share you my experience, like what are the things that I faced in my interview, and after working in industry for this much time, what I feel like is really important, what is in the mind of interviewer when he's taking an interview, and what are the things that really matters to get you in a good company. So first thing that you need to prepare before interview is resume. So I have to emphasize on this point, like resume really matters. Like resume is the first impression that you give to your interviewer, because before you enter a room, he has your resume, he has the impression, he makes the first thing, like he makes the first perception of yours in his mind. So he will ask question according to that, he'll judge you, and it might be even possible like you might have a little advantage or a little disadvantage depending on how you design your resume and what are the things that are present in your resume. It represents who you are, what you have actually done, what you have actually achieved, and it's the whole picture of your 4 years of college. So obviously it really matters. And one thing is like you don't have to lie and you don't have to hide anything in your resume. Please don't lie about any skill that you really don't have, because when interview happens and interviewer starts to ask on those topics, you might face certain difficulties and it might even give a very bad impression on the interviewer, like you have lied on the resume. So the one who lies on the resume also lie on his daily routine work. So you will be surely rejected on that. So please don't do such things. And the projects really matters. What are the projects that you're currently doing during your college tenure is the one that will highlight on your resume. So it really matters like what kind of projects have you done. So next thing is before the interview, internship also matters. Like if you already have an industry exposure and you know like how the industry works, it will not help only help you in clearing the interview, it will only also help you like building relationships that will also help in getting the off-campus interviews, or you will also have a knowledge of the skills for which you are trying to apply a job for. So it really matters. And during an internship, please don't look out for stipends. Like you only apply for the internship that is a paid one. Please don't do that. Uh, During your college tenure, only focus on learning. So if you think like there are two internships, one is offering just a 2,000 rupees per month and another is offering like 20,000 per month. But the 2001, the learning curve is very huge. So please go for that, because in college times, this 12 to 13,000 rupees will not matter. What matters is what you learn, because that is actually the thing that will help you in clearing your interviews and secure a very good job. And another important thing in internship is you learn a lot. In internship, you get to interact with all your seniors. You are the dumbest person in the room. So obviously you will learn with everybody. So that is really good advantage. And it's a very strong, important point on your resume. If you have done like 3 to 4 projects and one internship, it's almost the same. So you can understand its weightage. Like highlighting an internship on your resume is a very strong point. And it also validates your skill. If you have acquired an internship for say web tech, so it shows like you know about web tech. If you have applied the internship for design and you have secured one, so it shows like you have a designing skill. So obviously when you're applying for a job, the company has a confidence on you, like he already knows the certain skill. And last advantage is PPO. Of course, if you do very well in an internship, the company will surely offer you a pre-placement offer, and you even don't need to set a placement for the rest of the process. Next thing that you need to keep in mind, anybody asking anything? Okay. Next thing is like, you need to practice your skills. Before going an interview, you need to practice a lot. In the VIT, I think there are many profiles coming for getting your job. Like there's a sales and marketing, there is a tech jobs like through Amazon or Flipkart or something like that. And there's also another jobs that is core to your max skills or something like that. So you need to sharpen your skills. You need to make sure that with whatever skills you have mentioned in your resume, you know that very properly, because you need to answer a lot of questions on them. And give mock interviews. Don't give mock interviews with your friends, because you will get a lot of comfort on that and you will start joking about it. So pick up a little unknown person and practice mock interviews. It will really boost up your confidence and will enable you to highlight your weak areas on which you can work upon later. And learn from the experience. Even if you give an interview, fail, you should note down what are the points like you feel are your weak areas and you need to work upon that. I will just quickly over through the slides so that we have a more focus on the Q&A session and VIT specific interview strategies. So like, I think interview is somewhat similar to cricket. Like when you, in cricket, you might see like there is a weakness of Indian players, like a short ball or something like that. But that weakness is not similar to other country like Australia. So the same trick that you have might work upon country like Australia will not work on India. So in this way, every company is different. Like if I'm giving an interview for Amazon, I need to prepare in a different way. I have to and like practice on my data structures algorithms thing. I have to practice on programming. While if I'm giving an interview for a company like Maruti Suzuki, I have to practice differently. The skill set is different. The techniques are different. The expectations of the companies are different. So you need to work differently for each of the company. Don't treat it as a singular strategy. Like I have to practice just my speaking skills or writing skills or like resume skills. So it's not just like that. You need to practice differently for each of the company in a different manner. And you need to research over the company, what the company actually do, what the company is actually looking for, what are the skills that the company might need. Like I can give you an example for that. For example, if you sit for a company like Amazon, they are only focused for your coding skills, only focus on the coding skills. They don't care about your resume. They don't care about certificates. They don't care about what are the skills might you have acquired. They don't care about the projects. They only need your coding skills. While if you sit on a company like Deloitte or Wipro, they will focus on your speaking skills. They don't care about whether you know coding or not. They will just focus on speaking skills, group strategies, or something like that. So these two companies are different perspectives of how they look at the candidate. So you need to also play accordingly. And best thing is like, even if you give 10 interviews, you just have to pass one. The 9 failure doesn't matter if you have cleared the one. So that's the best thing. And you need to know your best shots, like what are your strong points, and you need to highlight them on your resume, and you have to also keep them in mind while giving an interview. And I think like it's a game of some difference. Like be like Varus, you have to play tactical. Like interview is not more about skill showing game; it's a more about mind game. Like if you know like a question has been asked and you don't know the answer, so how will you handle it? Will you directly bluntly say I don't know it, or will you give a wrong attempt on an answer? Like you think like this might be the answer and you give that. So how to handle those things is like all the interview is all about. So you need to know how to handle the bad situations on an interview when you know don't know answer, when an interviewer is very strict, when the interviewer is not very interactive, not very helpful. So how to handle those situations? You need to know about that. And don't chase just one company. Don't be like, I just want to go on this company, because if you just chase one company, it will create an unnecessary pressure on you. And not just pressure, it will create an unnecessary expectations, and your chances of getting success is also quite low. And later on the life, you realize like, I was foolish to just chase that one company. And you have nothing to lose. Even if you fail in an interview, there are lots of companies that come to our college. So there is nothing to worry about that situation. And research every it's very important. You don't understand this point of views, but it's really important. If you research over the company, it will help you giving an interview in a better way, in an interactive way. And even interviewer very likes like if you give something about the company to them. Like if I'm giving an interview about a startup, if I highlight, oh, the startup is doing such a great, I'm following this and this. So it will really create a positive impression on an interviewer. So please remember that. Like during an interview, also learn to express. Like what you say is not the only thing that goes in the mind of the interviewer. How you express your answers, how interactive you are, how good are you in representing your skills. These are all the things like really matter in an interview. It's not just interview asks the question and you have to give an answer. It's not that straightforward. How you give an answer is really like the game that you need to play. And good attitude will also shadow your mistakes. Like if you have positive attitude, you listen to your interviewer carefully and accept your mistakes, and don't be like aggressive on the interview. So it will really help you, and going forward, it will create a positive impression on the interview. And be calm and don't argue. Even if you think like the interviewer is wrong, I'm the correct one, I'm the giving the right answer, please don't argue on that. And like, I will just pause here right now. If you have any questions like you want to ask on these slides that I've shown, or any question in your mind, you can just shoot away. Anyone, like please unmute your mic and ask it. I'm going very fast on the slides because I want to make this session interactive and let you ask questions. Please, any questions? I know that something might be running on your mind. Anyone? Like, I will just wait for a minute and then we will continue. Like anyone want to ask like, is MEC placements really that good? Or will the core companies come? Something like that? Anyone? You can ask VIT specific questions too. I'm a VIT alumni, so I know like how the things goes on. Please ask questions.
Hi, sir. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure. Happy. Please don't call sir, Nimish. Yeah.
So basically, when you talk about companies like Deloitte and companies who are basically coding skills, but what about companies? How to prepare for companies which are mechanical based, like core companies for us who can help us basically make how to prepare for that kind of circumstances?
Yeah, sure. Actually, to be very frank, like for the core companies, you have to enrich your skills, like the mechanical core subjects, because I think the core companies that come in VIT and come in the super dream categories like Honda, Maruti Suzuki, and 3 to 4 more companies. So there are around 5 to 6 companies that are in super dream, and they came for mech core companies. So they usually ask about, if I'm correct, they usually have the core mechanical skills, like the hydraulics and other chapter. I'm not aware of much of the mechanical subjects, but yeah, it was pretty core. Like you need to give an exam for that, the first round is pretty much the skills based, like whatever you have learned in the 4 years of your college. So it will be on that questions, MCQ based questions, or like text based answer questions. After that, it will be just a one-to-one interaction. They will not ask much core sections of the subjects, but like, what can I say? Like, how will you handle the situations? Are you comfortable in relocating? The questions like that. So you need to, if you want in the core company, you need to emphasize on the core subjects, that you might have learned in your college, not above that. And like personally, I'm telling you, like there are not much core companies. So if you're very much interested in the code, then only go for it. Because some core companies don't pay very well, but the work is quite good. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Sir, how do you assess a company beforehand whether it is inclined towards coding or it is inclined towards speaking skills? Like
It's very actually much of the companies that are inclined towards coding skills speaks right away. Like you need to have a data structure algorithms knowledge, or we are looking for software engineer interns. So if you see the terms like that, it obviously like they want the coding one. And the companies which are specific to the coding skills always takes the first round on HackerRank or HackerEarth, something like that platform only. So if you don't want to go in the coding based company, please skip that. And the companies that are specific to the speaking skills usually takes the first round as normal aptitude based questions, and then the second round will be like group based activities or something like that. Like the companies like Wipro, Deloitte, KPMG, these are like the one who are not specific to the codings. While the companies like Amazon, Microsoft, I don't know whether Flipkart comes in VIT or not, but the companies like that, OYO, these are like the coding based companies. It's not a restricted that only CS IT branch can apply for these companies. I think most of the companies are open for all. But they will always specify beforehand. Any other question? Okay, so I will continue and we will again come to the Q&A later. So after the interview, like, what are the steps that you need to do to make the next interview better? So first thing is always ask interviewer for the feedback. It's really, really important to ask for the feedback because it enables you to know your mistakes. Sometimes while giving an interview, you don't even realize like you are doing this thing wrong. You think like this is the right way to do it, but it might be possible that the company might not looking for that behavior or that answer. So always ask for the feedback, and always ask the company like when you can apply again if you're not selected. So it will also open an off-campus opportunity for you, and will also create a positive impression on the interview. You can even connect him on the LinkedIn and later ask for the referral and apply on that company again. And always learn from the mistakes that you do. You can ask the interview for the mistakes. You can judge yourself, and please make a note of it on your mobile or something, and you can work on that later. And don't settle for the on-campus companies. Even for the branch like mechanical, there are not much companies that come for as a core companies. There are only few of them. So you should apply for the off-campus. You should try different companies, connect them on LinkedIn and ask for the referrals. It's difficult for the fresher, but it's quite possible. And as I say, like it's tough for the freshers and it's possible. The off-campus actually opens a very vast window of opportunity for you. And if you want to go for the core company, you should always try for it. It might be possible like you have applied for around 20 to 30 companies and you might only get call of around 3 or 4, but that is also good, right? Because it's an extra companies that you get apart from your college. And obviously if you have done an internship or you have a like something to show, like to prove your skills that you have, you know about the subject or you know about that tech or you know about the particular skill set that the company is looking for, it is really helpful. An internship is always a better way to enhance that. And your personal and the LinkedIn network will also help. I have seen like many of the perception like LinkedIn is only for computer science engineers. It's not that. LinkedIn is a very great social network tool. It's a very great networking tool that you can utilize. And various industry professionals are currently on LinkedIn. So it's very easy to do. You just have to click on the connect button. You will have a connection with an industry people and you can ask them for help. You can ask them for referral. You can ask them like how to apply in a particular company, what are the skill set that your company is looking for. So it's a great way to like increase your reach on the companies. And you just need one success. It doesn't matter whether you have multiple failures in off campus, that really doesn't matter. You just need one selection. So please apply for the off campus. Don't hesitate. It's not that difficult, but you should apply for. So now we will look like how to build your resume. So obviously, even if you build a simple Word doc resume, just highlighting the few points, it will work. For college placements, I don't think that you need to build a very fancy resume. But while applying for the off campus, actually resume is the one thing that really differentiate you from the other candidates. So you really should focus on how to design a resume. So here's a sample resume I've just picked up on the internet, and it looks really pretty good. So here's a few details that we should note for. First is obviously the name of the person. His designation for you, it will be a like graduate from VIT University, something like that. Your email ID, your phone number, your address, a LinkedIn account. So these things. Your education. This will include like your VIT college and which other degree you are taking. What is the CGPA? And next thing is the work experience. If you have done any internship, you should always specify one. You should highlight the one. You should also include like what are the projects you have done in an internship or something like that. And any volunteer experience, if you have joined any NGO or if you have done outside the work, whatever you have done, you should also mention it. You can also include any open source things that you have done. If you're part of a certain team, like the various teams that are currently working in VIT, if you're part of any of the team, you're part of any fest or something, you can mention on that. Next is the technical skills. If you have done any projects or you have built something and you have achieved something in your particular skill set, you can mention that. And you should also mention like what are the technical skills, if you know the SolidWorks, if you know the Photoshop. So you can also mention in this section. Next one is the soft skills. You should always mention 4 to 5 soft skills. Really good to highlight that on resume. So you can also mention that. The personal projects, if you have done any, you can specify one. If you don't have that, please skip it. It also includes the mini projects and the final year projects that you do. If the final year project is not yet completed or not yet started while you're applying for a job, you should always specify like this is an ongoing project and you can specify one. Next is the personal achievements. If you have achieved any certificates, if you have achieved any award or something like that, you can specify one. Next one is the languages. It's not a mandatory section. And even I personally feel that you should not specify one because we are not applying for an overseas job. If you're applying for an international job, you should always specify the languages that you know, because for some companies it's a must. So if it's an Indian company, you don't need to mention that. Next one is how the corona is the one thing that is currently all over the news, and it really has impacted how the hiring takes place. If I'm correct, like it's the month of July, and usually if you would have been in college, the company's forms, the company's placement process usually start by this time. But obviously the corona has come, so I think an online interview might be the next thing that you guys have to do. But the companies that used to hire previously has gone significantly because many startups have planned to not hire for this season. So how will this be an impact for you and how to get overcome with it? We will see in the next slides. So before that, I just want to ask again, like if you have any questions, you can shoot right now. Like anything you want to ask on the slides or apart from the slides. Like please don't hesitate. It's very difficult to digest that you don't have any question. Anything, like anyone? Please don't hesitate. If you have anything in mind, you can ask right away.
Sir, how to exactly prepare for interviews post-COVID situation, sir? Because like if we actually see, sir, right now, like everything will be, I guess, online for next few months, or let's say 6 to 7, 8 months now. So, sir, will it be a change which will be permanent? Like, will interviewers prefer having interviews online, or will it be again going back to in campus placement or coming to a place and taking recruitments?
Yeah, actually, there are two perspectives to see on this because first thing is interviewers normally don't want to come to the college and like go for the placement. But since this has been the process for many years, so they have to do it. Companies send their employees to the college and then they take the interviews, they come back. So it's a very hectic schedule. So obviously interviewers are very happy like this is the online thing. And because they're happy and because they can see if it really works, so they will always be more inclined towards this approach only. And I think it is quite beneficial for you guys also because during the COVID, obviously the companies are less, so it's not a good situation to be in. But later on, if the online interviews are the things that is going to happen, it will really benefit because it will open the window of opportunity for you to many companies. Because if the companies are in Delhi or Gurgaon like area, they usually don't prefer to come down the south and take the interviews. So now they have an option, like they can take an online interview of the college graduates. So yeah, it's a very good opportunity for you also. Like many companies who might not have come, they might be also interested in taking you guys. And for the preparation part, actually, when you give an on-campus interview, you have two positive points for you. First one, you are in the college, so you have a little bit of confidence on that. Like you have your friend support, even if you are rejected. You can also prepare better because all people around you are preparing for an interview. So it really helps you in preparing you well. And another advantage is because the person is face to face. So I think it's a better for a human interaction. Like if even if anything goes wrong, you can handle it in a better way rather than in online. Because the online, you are both of you are just behind the laptops. It might be possible like interviewers doing something else work too while taking an interview. So he might not able to concentrate well, and it might have a negative impact on your feedback. So yeah, what of this situation might happen. But obviously, in the long run, it's very useful because many companies will come, which earlier won't prefer to come on campus. Any other question?
So I would like to know whether this doing such online courses have any impact on the resume, like certified courses from Coursera,
Uh,
edX, something like. Does it have any effect
uh,
on the resume?
Actually, to be very frank, they have an impact, but not worth it. Like the money you spend on the Coursera course or any other online certification, please don't go for the certificate because you should not be motivated like I have to do this course just because of the certificate. Because you will be really disappointed when you get to know that even most of the companies don't see that certificate. So they only matter to certify your skills on online platforms, but not on your resume. On resume, what really matters is like if you have done any internship or the projects. So I usually prefer to not go for the certificates because in my experience, I've never seen like someone seeing my certificates or like that. They only see the internship and the project part. So go for that. Always take the course which enhance your skills and which help you get an internship or projects rather than going for the certificate.
So, sir, how can you make your skills speak for you?
Yeah, obviously, certificate is the one way that helps you to verify your skills. But rather than getting a certificate, obviously, if you have done a course or something, you might have acquired that skill. So you should create a small project or small demo or something related to that to certify your skill rather than just showing the certificate.
Okay.
I think that is really a best way to showcase a skill because certificate you can get easily by just clicking on next. So that doesn't verify your skill, right? So you should always try for internship or project.
Yeah.
Any other question? Someone has asked like, what are the soft skills you need to develop to have an upper hand over others? Okay. One thing is like how you speak to an interview, how humble you are, and how you handle the bad situation. So it only comes with the practice. You can't do a course on that to learn all the skills. If I'm correct, I think still the face and smart people might have doing this training sessions that are really not at all helpful. But yeah, you can learn something from that too, like how to enhance your soft skills. And majorly, I think there are very less companies that focus on the soft skills. Only the dream companies are the one like which might focus on soft skills. Most of them don't. Any other question? Or should I proceed? Okay, so we will proceed for now. You can ask later too. So what are the challenges that are during the Corona times? So first one is of course less opportunities because many companies are going for firing rather than hiring. So obviously they won't hire for this season. And there are many companies that will come in college due to this situation. But obviously, as I've told, like it might be both positive and negative because some companies which earlier don't come to the college because due to distance issues might also come. So let's see what will happen. And pre-corona challenges are always there. Like your college placement committee have to talk to the companies, they have to make them agree to come for the placement. So all this shit. But obviously, VIT is a very decent college, so you don't have to worry about that. So how to solve this problem? Like how to have a solution to all these problems that Corona is doing? So obviously Corona is temporary. This problem I think might happen for just a 1 or 2 year. But what are the main things is like skills. Because once you even get a job, if you don't update your skills, there's always a risk of losing the job. So what are the solutions? Obviously, first upskill yourself, do the courses, do go for the open courses or the courses in various websites. Please don't go for just the certificates. Go for the content that the course is providing and upskill yourself. Get a refer in the companies that you want to have a job in. And please create a LinkedIn account, create your network. Please talk to the industry people more and more. It will really help you even later in your career. And get industry exposure through internships, by talking to the people, by going to the sessions, by making much more connections, by talking to your alumni, by talking to your seniors, like how they are doing in industry, something like that. And obviously, don't be very much tense about an interview. It's not that big creator deal. So please don't be very tense. Chill out. So we will now look some mythbusters that I've listened very much in my college, and some of them even I used to believe. So myth number one: college matters a lot. I've seen, even I was the one who used to think like the IIT is not that great a college. The IIT people have much more opportunities than we guys have. I think this is somewhat true if you're in a college. Obviously, the companies that or the package that the people in IITs are getting is a lot more than what the tier 2 and tier 3 colleges are getting. But once you go out of the college, there's a lot more opportunities that you even can't think of. Like when I got a placement in my college, it was a Super Dream company. So I was pretty happy about it. But I always knew that being in a company like Amazon and Flipkart will be very difficult because they always prefer a degree. And I don't have a degree from a very decent college. So how will I get one? But once you graduate from the college, like companies don't look after your degree, your CGPA. They only look for the skill set that you have. You only have to clear their interview. You don't care about from which college you are or what you have done in your past 4 years. So please don't be upset about like if you don't get a proper opportunity in your college. And VIT is a very decent college. Like many good companies have come now. Like Microsoft also don't used to come in my batch, but I think it has hired for previous 2 batches. So yeah, many even the core companies are coming in the college right now compared to when I passed out. Myth two is like you should not join startups, they are risky. It's a very common perception that happens in the college, guys. Like they always go for the brand. Like when there's an option to go for a company like stand or like bank, or if you have an option to go for a startup, people always choose the bank because they think like it's a great brand name. It will highlight on my profile. I will be on another next level. So this perception needs to break because once you go go out of the college, then you realize like what really matters is what I learned during my initial years, not the brand. So if you're an option, please go for the startups. Startups are a great way to learn about things. It's a very good opportunity to excel in your career later in the life rather than just going for the brand. So please do join startup if you have an option to join one. And there's no use to prepare for an interview before 4th year. This is also a common perception. And I think it's better if you start enhancing your skill, if you start learning and upskilling yourself from the day when you enter in the college. Obviously, the first year is for chill, but from the second year, you can start focusing on what your goals are, and you should start working on that. If your goal is for going for higher studies, please be aligned with that and start working on that. If your goal is to join a particular company or particular type of company, if you want to join a software company, if you want to join a core company, start asking your seniors like how to get the things done, what are the skills that you might need. you start preparing beforehand before it gets too late. Because if you start preparing on the 4th year or the 3rd year, it will be little late. You realize on that date, like, I should have prepared earlier. High paying jobs are only reserved for CS engineers. This is also a common perception. And when the placement process starts, this is a common thinking, because the first, I think, 7 to 8 companies that come in a college are usually the software engineers company. So please don't be like demotivated with that, because later on also, like, there are many core companies that come and offer very good packages. Even there are companies of the profile like sales, marketing, or business analyst or stock trading, which really pay very high and are really good companies that are not reserved just for CS engineers. So don't be like demotivated. That even if I'm correct, there'll be a session to all the 3rd years to explain this thing. Myth number 5 is most qualified will get the job. This is a common perception, and obviously it seems to be true. Obviously, the most qualified will get the job. How can this be a myth? So the thing is, like, if you are not better than someone, make yourself better on the other skills. Like, I know, like, if I'm like speaking on the terms of the programming, I know like the candidate A is better than me on the programming, but I am better than him like handling the situations in an interview. So obviously the company will prefer me because they have a positive impression of me rather than him. So prepare for both the technical skill and the soft skills to get an extra edge on cracking an interview. Next thing is, obviously people usually think that soft skills don't matter. They just work very hard on their technical skills and forget about like how to answer the questions, how to speak to an interviewer, how to handle the bad situation. So please do work on that, because sometimes you might even feel like even with all the technical knowledge, even with all the skills that I have, I still not getting an interview. Why this happening? Even during a MA batch also, there were many 9 or like 9.5 over pointers that didn't get the placement for around 5 to 6 months. So even they didn't have a clue like what they were doing wrong. So obviously they used to crack the initial rounds, the test base that I've talked about, like they used to crack the hackering test or the online test, whatever is happening. But they usually fail when the live interview comes, because they have not worked on the soft skills, and that actually really what gives you an extra edge over others. So please work on that. Next thing is, people feel like interview wants to stump you. They want to screw you over. They don't want to hire you, or they will be very strict. It's not like that. Interviewers just like you guys. They might also have studied in a college, and they know like how the college student mindset works. So they also want to keep a friendly environment with you, and they don't want to fear you, because they also want to know all about you. So it might be possible that he or she might ask different type of questions that might not suit you, or that might not be in your skills, that might not you have mentioned in your resume, but he wants to get a perfect person for the job. So it's his role to ask all the things that he has thought about. So like any other question like you guys might have, please don't hesitate, ask anything. Any other thing that might be running in your mind? Should I proceed? Okay, let's go forward. So next thing is like, what is Campus Veda? So as I've told you, like there are various hurdles that you might face while giving an interview, while upskilling yourself. So we have made a solution for you guys. Like what we do is we provide a course. That course has been audited by the companies in very big names like Google, Microsoft. It's not just the technical based courses. We've also contacted the companies like KPMG and Deloitte, and if I'm correct, many other startups to help us make the courses. And these courses will help you in upskilling yourself. We also have an assured internship program in which we make sure that you will surely get an internship. And if you don't get an internship, we refund you twice the amount of the course. So once you join a course, you will surely get an internship that will also highlight in your resume. We also obviously give the certificate, but as I've said, please don't go for a certificate, go for the content. And the content you will get and the support you will get in the courses, not even compared to the other like ones like Internshal or other platforms. So we feel like there's a lack of skill monster that is not helping you in getting the job. So we are the one who try to bridge the gap that the company is looking for and what you really require. So please do check our website, please do check our courses, and you can contact us anytime. And we also have a WhatsApp community group in which we regular updates about the internships that we get. We post around 2 to 3 internships on a daily basis. We have around 1,000 to 1,200, 300 something internships with us, even in this COVID times. So please do join that group and get updated with all the internships that comes. The internships include from various areas like technical to non-technical ones, from the commerce student ones. So it includes all the internships for various profiles. So please do join that WhatsApp group. And we're also hosting a webinar from July 25th every Saturday for free. This webinar will be on the various topics like web development, interview preparation, resume building, and many more. These webinars will be conducted from various people from the industry, like from Amazon, from Google. One is also from Facebook and other companies too. If you feel that it's relevant for you, it's the skills that you want to gain, so please do join that webinar. We will update you about the webinar in that WhatsApp community group and also on the mails. And during the webinar, you will learn the skills which will help you get an internship in Java FO, even with much more ease. And we're also offering Assure internships, as I've told you, with various companies. There are around 300 to 400 companies that are partnered with us. And after the sessions is completed, we will help you get those internships. After the completion of the internship, we will also help you in getting the Java internship referrals, but this is only for 3rd year and 4th years. And the companies like Flipkart, Amazon, Microsoft, Zynga, OYO, and many other startups. You will also get in networking opportunities with the speakers and with the industry people that will come to give you a webinar. And you just need to fill a Google form that Himanshu will share you at the end of this webinar, and we will communicate you via that email. We urge each and every student to please do check out the courses, check out the webinars that we're currently hosting, and please join our community to get yourself updated with all the opportunities that you might have. And any other question you want to shoot up regarding VIT college placement? Any questions? Please be frank and ask anything you want. Anything, like, please don't hesitate. Any question you want to ask, like how the core jobs or how to get a super team, anything.
Hi Nimesh, we have few questions in our Q&A form also. So meanwhile, we can go with that.
Sure.
So our first question is, what did you do to get placement? Someone has asked this. Can you please answer?
Okay, actually, like, it's a very broad question, and the whole presentation was on that too. So I will just want to highlight a few points. Like, first, obviously, it's upskill yourself, build a good resume, apply off campus, practice mock interviews, take campus interviews seriously, ask your friends also for feedback, ask your interviewer feedback, try to know what are the weak areas, try to know what are the strong areas, try to work on the more on the weak areas, and much more. And we also take a particular webinar session to know about that, like how to crack the interview. So you can attend.
Okay, thank you. Next question is how to get in touch with various companies during this lockdown period.
Yeah, the one and the most effective way is obviously to, like, the LinkedIn platform is the best way to have a networking on the various companies. And another thing is, like, you can easily join, you can easily apply for any job that you might be interested by going to the careers page. It's a common perception of students, like, they might not notice my profile, but that's not the case. Some companies do check the profiles regularly, and you might get a chance to give an interview with that.
Okay.
And we also have a group particularly for that, to give you updated information about the companies that are hiring. So you can join that too.
Okay, so Shruti has asked a very long question, actually it is. So I'll just conclude it. Does certificate actually matters in the placement?
Yeah, I think the same question has been asked by some other guys. So yeah, obviously, certificate as I've told, like they do matter, but not that much. The energy and that money that you spend on getting those certificates is obviously not that worth. You should always go for much more concrete things like projects and internships that will validate your skills much better than the certificate. But of course, if you think like I might not be able to complete project on every course or every skill at my class, so yeah, certification in that case is a very good point to verify the skill.
Okay. Next question is, I saw in your website that you offer a short internship. What do you mean by that?
As it stated, it's really assured because we, for example, if we get around 1,000 internships openings, we reserve around 300 to 400 just for that program. And we are partnered up with the companies because we are skilling our students, skilling up our students. So in that way, they are very confident that the students that get an internship in their company will be of a better quality than the other students that are applying in the regular one. So obviously, assured means assured. If you don't get an internship by enrolling yourself in the assured internship program, we will refund your money. We will not just refund the money; we will give you twice the money. Like if you have paid around 4,000 for a course, we will give you 8,000 if you don't get an internship. So 100% sure. Like if you go for an assured internship program, you will surely get one.
Okay, that's it. Like we have this much questions only. Uh,
One thing I just want to highlight, Himanshu is also from the mechanical branch. So even if you want to ask something to him, you can ask him too. Like he's also 2018 pass out and really very great. And he is in ASME. He was ASME vice president if I'm correct. So you can ask him anything if you like. You want to ask questions to the mechanical guy. Any question you want to ask, please feel to ask. Please utilize this interaction. Any question? Okay, no issues. So even if you have any doubt regarding anything, regarding your placements or any process, even if you're giving an interview, you want to ask about something, please feel free to ask on any platform that you wish, on LinkedIn, Facebook, anything. We'll be very happy to solve your queries. So with this, I conclude my presentation. Himanshu, over to you.
Thank you, Nimesh. Now I would like to call anyone from ASME VIT to give vote of thanks.
Hi, on behalf of ASME VIT, I would like to thank Mr. Nimesh Khandelwal for enlightening us with knowledge on how the manufacturing industry has adapted to the current COVID-19 situation. Situations like these are unprecedented, and this webinar will definitely help us be prepared in case a situation like this arises in the future. We, being mechanical engineers, will definitely benefit from this knowledge. I would also like to thank all the students who participated to make this webinar a success. Thank you once again.
Okay, thank you. So I hope everyone has learned something new about the placement preparation and got the information of current market scenario. So I would like to thank ASME VIT for giving us this opportunity to host the webinar. So we are open after this webinar also. You can contact us on our website or through our mail ID. And I have shared one Google form in the chat box. So I'll share in the end. Uh, you have to fill that form that will be needed for your e-certificate, and your e-certificate will be mailed to you soon. So here we end our session. So thank you everyone for joining us. Stay home, stay safe, and take care. So just wait. Right now I am sharing the form in the chat box. You have to fill that form so that we will send you the e-certificate.
So with this, I think we should conclude. And if you have any other doubt, like as Himanshu said, you can contact us on any platform. You can also contact us through email ID or website. So really, thank you for attending this webinar. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. So I have shared the form. You can ask question in the comment section also. So in the form there is a comment section. You can ask your question. We will get back to you in personally. Like and just fill this form because it will be needed for your e-certificate. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.